What's up, y'all? This is Osiris from Stuck in the Middle. I've been a big fan of politics and debates ever since I was young. Specifically on debates, there's a lot going on. There are optics, fake smiles, fake handshakes, fake posturing, and pre-written memorized talking points. Now, I might be a little weird. What I care about the most are actually the answers to the questions. I know that sounds crazy. Now, I understand there are smart, strategic reasons as to why a politician would purposely not answer a question. There are times where politicians blame their opponent, they don't provide their own solutions. All of this makes perfect sense because optics matter more than substance. But these videos here, labeled answers only, they are about the questions and specific answers, nothing else. No bloatware. If a debate isn't moderated by someone who is willing and able to respectfully follow up and call out when a politician has not answered a question, then it's a poorly moderated debate, as most are. My goal here is to strip away the costume, strip away the mask, take off the TV makeup, the phoniness, the fakeness, and all you have left are just the naked answers with some commentary on the side.
What would a Biden administration do in January and February that a Trump administration wouldn't do? Would you impose new lockdowns for businesses and schools and hotspots? A federal mandate to wear masks?
And our plan is about what we need to do around a national strategy for contact tracing, for testing, for administration of the vaccine, and making sure that it will be free for all.
Not a strong start for answering the question by Senator Harris. She basically said, our plan is about what we need to do around. What does that even mean? So she had a little bit of nerves there. She had to go first in the debate. I think it's easier to start out second in the debate like this. And her big point was the vaccine has to be free for all. Of course it does. That doesn't really say anything substantial.
Why is the U.S. death toll as a percentage of our population higher than that of almost every other wealthy country?
A rough start for both of them, kicking off the debate. This is a question that has to be answered. This is a question that a moderator has to be able to say, Mr. Pence, you did not answer the question. And I don't know if that's negotiated in this where they can't do that. I would not moderate a debate in which I cannot call out or say, Mr. Pence, you didn't answer the question. I'll give you one more chance.
How can you expect Americans to follow the administration's safety guidelines to protect themselves from COVID when you at the White House have not been doing so?
Well, the American people have demonstrated over the last 8 months that when given the facts, they're willing to put the health of their families and their neighbors and people they don't even know first. And President Trump and I have great confidence in the American people and their ability to take that information and put it into practice. In the height of the epidemic, when we were losing a heartbreaking number of 2,500 Americans a day, we surged resources to New Jersey and New York and New Orleans and Detroit. We told the American people what needed to be done, and the American people made the sacrifices. When the outbreak in the Sun Belt happened this summer, again, Americans stepped forward. If I may say, that Rose Garden event, there's been a great deal of speculation about it. My wife Karen and I were there and honored to be there. Many of the people who were at that event, Susan, actually were tested for coronavirus, and it was an outdoor event, which all of our scientists regularly and routinely advise. The difference here is President Trump and I trust the American people to make choices in the best interest of their health. We're about freedom and respecting the freedom of the American people.
We got our first real answer of the debate. The question was a layup. Whenever you bring up the American people, Donald Trump, Mike Pence are always going to go back to, I trust the people. We are saviors for the people. They rose to power on a populist movement. So if I'm a moderator, I'm not going to ask any question that has for the people in it, because I already know they're going to twist anything to that. So that was a poorly designed question, but easy answer for Pence.
If the Trump administration approves a vaccine before or after the election, should Americans take it, and would you take it?
If the public health professionals, if Dr. Fauci, if the doctors tell us that we should take it, I'll be the first in line to take it, absolutely. But if Donald Trump tells us that we should take it, I'm not taking it.
Senator Harris's response here is fair. She's basically saying, I trust the doctors, but I don't trust our own president, Donald Trump, because of the politics. But she didn't spell that all out. And the bigger picture from that answer is, for me, it didn't come across as likable. And this is really something that I think turns some people off. It's really a divisive answer. And that doesn't go with Joe Biden's theme of enough with the divisiveness. It's just, that's why it's just talk. Because you can say what she said in a more respectful, she was almost gleeful, in a more respectful manner, of a more sombering manner, that our politics are so divisive that I have to question it twice before I take it if it's coming from the president.
Have you had a conversation or reached an agreement with President Trump about safeguards or procedures when it comes to the issue of presidential disability? And if not, do you think you should?
To no surprise, Vice President Pence chose not to answer this question. He made a good strategic choice. The question is basically something that no politician would ever answer. Senator Harris is going to do the same thing. She's not going to answer it. This is a terrible question. This question should have never been a part of the debate. Whoever thought this was a good question to ask, terrible. No politician is going to answer. Oh, yes, I've talked to the president or the future president about the possibility of him being old and dying. So if he dies, this is what we're going to do. No one's going to answer it that way. So terrible question.
You know, neither President Trump nor Vice President Biden has released a sort of detailed health information that had become the modern norm until the 2016 election. And in recent days, President Trump's doctors have given misleading answers or refused to answer basic questions about his health. And my question to each of you in turn is this information voters deserve to know?
And the transparency that they practiced all along the way will continue. The American people have a right to know about the health and well-being of their president, and we'll continue to do that.
Absolutely, and that's why Joe Biden has been so incredibly transparent. The one thing we all know about Joe, he puts it all out there. He is honest, he is forthright.
What a terrible question this was. Just another poorly designed question. Of course, the answer is always going to be, yes, the president is transparent. Yes, Americans should know. The risk of really answering that in the accurate form is just too high. Vice President Pence is not going to say, as a security concern, the American people have a right to know, but we have to watch out for those who might use this opportunity to do something crazy. Just that question was just, they've got two bad questions back to back right there.
Senator Harris, the Biden-Harris campaign has proposed new programs to boost the economy, and you would pay for that new spending by raising $4 trillion in taxes on wealthy individuals and corporations. Some economists warn that could curb entrepreneurial ventures that fuel growth and create jobs. Would raising taxes put the recovery at risk?
This was not a good moment for Senator Harris. It was an opportunity to say those economists are wrong, and here's why. So she really could have answered that very easily without getting into many details. A missed opportunity just from the standpoint of answering the question, if you care about that.
Should Americans be braced for an economic comeback that is going to take not months, but a year or more?
2021 is going to be the biggest
Pence.
economic year in the history of this country.
Thank you, Vice President.
This debate will be known in history more for the poor questions than poor performance of the two debaters. This is a terrible question. Should Americans brace themselves for a long recovery? No one can stop him from saying, no, we shouldn't. 2021 is going to be the greatest year ever. What's going to stop a politician from just saying that that's going to happen? You have to design a question better than that.